my name is Sophia and today I'm going to do my June wrap-up. So, behind me is a different setup because I moved some things in my room and I moved my shelf and it looks beautiful and amazing and it looks like a proper bookshelf and I love it. If this is awful, let me know. I'm gonna do my June wrap-up as I said, and June was a very good reading month. I think it was my highest average rating for the year so far because I just read so many good books that I loved. Sure, there were like two that were like meh, but overall I really enjoyed this month. So I read 9 books in June with a total of 3,836 pages and an average rating of 4.08. The first book I read in June is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets by Britney Spears, and honestly this book just wasn't it. Like I know the story so well because I grew up with it, and it's just so overdone in my head. This was like meh, just didn't really care for it because I've seen the story so many times and I didn't enjoy it. So overall I gave it 2.5 out of 5 stars. The next book I read is Something to Talk About by Meryl Wilsner. This is a sapphic adult romance between this super famous screenwriter slash actress and her assistant, and it is just wonderful. Honestly, I just have a lot of fun with it. It's cute, but it's also like it deals with some mature topics that you would think it would deal with in Hollywood. And it was just overall such a fun time. I was missing some passion in it though. The end made up for it. The end was like a little bit passionate, but it was just fluffy but not a lot of passion or angst, which is something I really enjoy. So overall I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. Next I read Get a Life Chloe Brown by Thalia Hibbert, and oh my god, what a perfect book. Honestly, wow. I am going to read everything Thalia Hibbert puts out from now on, which I have, and I'll talk about that later by the way. And it was just wonderful. I love the romance, I love the passion, I love the mix between like real human emotions and the important topics with the romance and fluff and sex scenes, and it was just wonderful and I really loved that book. I love the way it dealt with everything. Oh my god, I just loved it. I didn't read these 2 books back to back, but I'm going to talk about them together because they're like from the same series, the same author, and it's Take a Hint, Dani Brown by Thalia Hibbert as well. And I love Dani Brown more than I love Chloe Brown. Like the book, not the character. Also the character. But I love Take a Hint, Dani Brown so absurdly much. It just made me feel so much. Like I cried. There was a sex scene and then like 5 minutes later I was sobbing, so like that's called range. And honestly this book was just so fucking wonderful and I loved it with all my heart. 5 out of 5 stars to both, even though I love Take a Hint, Dani Brown more. After Get a Life Chloe Brown I read Shorefall by Robert Jackson Bennett. This is the sequel to Foundry Side, a book I read last year and really liked, like a solid 4 out of 5 stars, which is like when I really like a book, I just didn't have an emotional connection to it. And this book was the exact same. I love the exploration of theme in here. The themes in this book, wonderful. The villain, perfect, dare I say, perfect. I love the elements of found family in it. It did make me kind of cry towards the end, but the beginning into like half of this book was just very formulaic. It was just like we present a problem, like a scribing problem. There's like a page of them thinking how to solve it. They're like, oh, we know what it is. Okay, we're past this challenge. Next challenge. There's a scribing problem. They spend a page thinking about how to fix it. Okay, we're done. Next problem. And it was just like very formulaic, but I still really did enjoy this book a lot. I just didn't feel very many strong feelings throughout, and it took me 11 days to read, which is like a lot for me. But I overall really liked it. That's it, 4 out of 5 stars. Next, I read Lovely War by Julie Berry, a book I read 50% of in May and then the last 50% in June. And overall, I just really enjoyed this book. See, I liked most, if not like all of the books I read this month, which is fucking amazing. And Lovely War is not something I would like ever because first of all, it's World War II fiction, which I hate. And second of all, it's romance. So I like romance, but only sometimes. I'm very picky with romance, even though I liked most of the romances I read this month. Anyway, I'm just in a very happy mood right now. But this book, it made me cry. I was very much in love with these characters in the beginning and it was just so much fun. I kind of really didn't like some of the directions the plot took, and also all the action scenes, aka the war scenes, which were narrated by Aries, fucking boring, and the descriptions were awful in my opinion. But overall, I just really enjoyed this book, which is like insane for me. Anyway, 4 out of 5 stars. After Lovely War, I read Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang, which I have an entire like 40-minute spoiler vlog. So if you read this book and you want like somebody to freak out with, check that out, I guess. And honestly, what a beautiful piece of art. I am speechless until now. Holy shit. The beginning was amazing. The beginning was already amazing. We start in such a different place from when we end, and the ending is just fantastic, even though it like tore my heart out. And all the plot progression was also wonderful. The character progression throughout all this conflict was masterful, honestly, and this book is just a masterpiece. It is, it's fucking fantastic, and I cannot wait for The Burning God, which releases the same day as Stormlight 4, which I am going to read Stormlight 4 first. Sorry, Popular, but like, I am dying to finish the series. Next book I read is Pretty Girls by Karin. Yes, I read this because of Cash from Paperback Dreams. And I can't say I liked this book. I really liked it, but it feels weird to say that I really liked this book. Talking about like the subject matter, which is fucking, wow. It was just, this book is one of those that gets in your head and under your skin, and after you've read it, like days and weeks after you've read it, you still like remember some of it sometimes. It's just like, oh, I get the chills, I get the fucking chills. And I love how this book explored themes and the sisters relationship between sisters. This book is about a teenage girl that went missing and things that might have going on with the teenage girl who went missing. And I am a teenage girl, and this book scared the fucking hell out of me, because while my brother, who is younger than me, can go with his friend, like on the bike with his friend pretty much anywhere in our neighborhood, I cannot walk alone with my big ass German Shepherd dog because of the danger there is out there, because like women have been kidnapped and raped somewhat around me. And reading this book is just like my paranoia to 1,000 right now. Holy shit. This book, it was just like very insane to read, and I think it hits especially hard if you're a teenage girl, or if you've been a teenage girl, honestly, because you can definitely understand the fear and the just this book was weirdly very good. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. After Pretty Girls, I read Take a Hint, Dani Brown, which we already talked about, and next and last book I read in June is Henna Wars by Adiba, something like that. And talk about indifference, because what a fucking middle of the road book. Is it bad? Not particularly. Is it good? Not particularly either. It's just very middle of the road and kind of irrelevant. For all enjoyment, it was just very irrelevant. I read it in one day and was like rushing it because I just wanted it to end, and I read this on the last day of June, that's why. And it's not that it's bad, as I say, it's not bad necessarily, but it's also not good. Like, I had fun. There's Brazilian rap in there, there's Bengali rap in there. The main character is a lesbian. There's people in the house. The best way I can describe this book is meh. I just didn't really care for it. So yeah, this was my June wrap up. Really a very good reading month, and let me know if you liked any of these, if you want to read any of these, because honestly, go read the Dragon Republic or the Brown Sister series, which is Get a Life Chloe Brown and Take a Hint Dani Brown, because they're just fucking fantastic. And yeah, my name is Sophia and I'll see you next time. Bye!